Well, I've been out at EGX in London all day, playing a load of new games on the Nintendo Switch, like the new Mario game that you can see me playing here with my two kids. It's actually pretty decent. And now I finally got back and sat down at 10 minutes past 6 to record this video. So if this gets out anywhere near 8 PM, well, hit that like button, because if it doesn't, don't hit the dislike. I think I'm going to cry. Either way, there are some very nice games on sale. I selected most of them while I was on the train on the way home. Well done to our winner this week. Your name's on the screen right now. You've won a free game. Hit us up with the emails. If you'd like to win, just leave your normal comments. I like to read through those and reply to as many as I can. I know at this stage, 99% of you actually use our 10% discount, so you don't have to pay these prices and you can get them for cheaper. But if not, all the information is at the bottom of the screen. It's very easy to do. It's also in the description. All right, what are the best games on sale this week? A couple of Savaloys as well, and one that you should avoid. Well, let's find out. First up then, at its cheapest ever price, I've seen a load of you talking about it in some of the comments of different videos, and it's Eastward. Now this is down 50% to £10.99. That is an absolute bargain. Now that sale goes on until October the 22nd, so you've got a few days to pick it up, and it's a top-down action adventure featuring a bloke called John and his little sidekick. It's funny because it's one of those games where the memories of it are small, unique moments. It's not like a picture of the overall gameplay. Some of it's quite simplistic, like the cookie mechanic and things like that, but it has an atmosphere about it. When there's almost a plague called the miasma that creeps across the land. And it's incredible. I had a great time with it. There's the DLC that's about to come out that turns the whole thing into a farming game. And obviously we'll be covering that when that comes out. But Eastward is a cracking little action adventure. And at 50% off, certainly worth you adding to your collection if you like this genre. Now, sadly, we know that Rutger Hauer passed away not too long ago and was famous for his role in Blade Runner with that iconic scene, Tears in the Rain. But he also actually voiced and had his visage in the game Observer, which is a futuristic detective thriller set within this tower block. And he jumps into people's minds by using this link and gradually pieces together the different parts of the case. Now, it runs, I believe, in the Unreal Engine, and the whole thing's from a first-person perspective. And you have to go through different cases, different flats, interviewing sometimes very dodgy individuals, and you have two different camera modes. I think it's three actually. There's one that looks at like biological evidence, one that looks at computer signals and radio waves, and then obviously your main camera. But I really did enjoy this. Now at the moment it's £4.04. That's 85% off here in the UK. That's by far the cheapest it's ever been. And yeah, if you like, again, the genre, that's one that you should be considering adding to your collection. I love calling it a collection. It's a giant mountain, isn't it? For the King is a lovely game, and another one that's down to its cheapest ever price. It's just £4.99 until November the 1st, I believe. And it's a hybrid of roguelike, tabletop, like a tabletop adventure / board game, and it really is excellent. It has strategy elements, but what I didn't realise about this is that it actually has co-op. Now I'm always on the lookout, now that my kids are getting a bit older, for decent co-op games that actually require you to use your brain a little bit. So I was really quite surprised actually to see that it was in this. There's just enough strategy here that it's quite a bit more in depth than a lot of roguelites, but it's not so much that you'll feel completely, I don't know how to say it really, not out of your depth, but like it's too heavy, you know? Now it does have procedural maps, so there is that element. I know some people like that, some don't, and that also applies to the quests and events that take place. What it really means though is that no two runs are ever the same, and obviously you won't always be able to get to the end and destroy the chaos. For one playthrough, it'll take maybe, I don't know, 10 to 15 hours, and it also has online modes if you'd like to play online with a friend. Just note with the co-op you will need two switches, you can't do that on one device. If you're interested in Death's Gambit Afterlife, then make sure you pick it up quickly, because you've only got like a day basically to grab this. If it's like Tuesday already, you might find that it's not on sale. This is a Metroidvania that had a complete reworking when Death's Gambit first came out. It was alright, but there were so many things the community were like, well, why haven't you done this? Why have you done that? And Afterlife is the result of much hard work and much responding to the community and what they wanted to see in the game. It's absolutely excellent, and in fact I'd say it's right up there with Hollow Knight, with Ori, with the greats in this genre. So don't overlook it if you have done in the past. And yeah, let me know how you get on with that one. Off the back of that, we've got Warhammer 40k bolt gun if you're after the old boomer shooter. This was a good laugh. I did say in my review I would be waiting for a sale, and I think a nice 25% discount is bang on the money. Takes it down to about $22, the original equivalent. This one has that pixel style. You can actually kind of tailor the amount of pixelation in the image. If you'd rather it was just like a low poly 3D look, you can tweak it that way. Now it doesn't have gyro unless they've added it in recent patches. That's the biggest issue, but otherwise it's very fun. In the one hand you've got like this chainsaw gun, and then obviously you've got your bolt gun, but that chainsaw, it's not a chainsaw gun, it's a chainsaw blade, like a sword almost. If you hold the button down, it will just keep slicing through them, but it will also allow you to jump large distances, so it almost has like a lock-on mechanic, and it's used to propel you forwards and keep the momentum going. My little pickup for the week, actually I've made about 3 or 4, not all of them are in this video, but one of them is Banner of the Maid. It's down 66% to about £5, and being the very deep individual that I am, I bought it because because it had Banner in the title, and I thought it was part of the Banner Saga series. Turns out it isn't, but it's still very good. Now it's an RPG/strategy, so I kind of landed on my feet there. If you've played something like Fell Seal, it's got aspects of that, but it also kind of reminds me of Romance of the Three Kingdoms. It's set around a time of revolution at the end of the 18th century and is loosely based on actually Louis XVI of France, who was planning to secretly escape his country. And around the time of the French Revolution, you play as essentially a young lieutenant, Pauline Bonaparte, who starts out her journey as a regular officer. So yeah, a really intriguing tale, not your usual fantasy mixture with magic and all of that, and tying it to that historical event that I'll be honest, I don't know nearly as much about as I would like. I found it very interesting indeed. The sale for that goes on until October the 19th, so you got about 3 days. The Dark Pictures anthology, Man of Medan, if you know, the sequel to this actually came out a few days ago on Switch, but Man of Medan was maybe a few months back and Glen reviewed it. Now that's currently hit its lowest ever price. It's half price at the moment until October the 30th, and the story goes that 5 friends set sail on a holiday diving trip, and it soon changes into something much more sinister. I won't spoil because the whole thing's it is all about the decisions, it's about what happens. If I tell you, it's going to completely ruin the surprise, but what I can say is that the decisions that you make they'll have life and death consequences. So it's designed almost to be played through a number of times. It feels like an interactive film in that regard. Very much so. Even down to the frame rate. It runs at 24 FPS, which was a decision because the sequel is actually 30, but it was a decision they got slated for. People were like, 24 FPS? What's that about? Obviously that's the rate at which films run at. So if you know that going in, I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you are a David Cage fan. If you remember back in the day, things like Fahrenheit, what a game that was. And you'd be sitting through lots of cutscenes essentially, but you knew what you were getting into. Now they did add in a multiplayer mode here, and I know you might think, hang on, how's that going to work? But up to 5 of you can almost take it in turns to make decisions and things like that and help out with some of those QTEs, those quick time events. Again, it's like sitting around to watch a film but taking part in it. That one's on sale till the end of the month, lowest ever price, definitely a bargain if you like that. Now, you know me, I love my point and click adventure games, so I have to put the Deponia collection in here. That's crazy. 90% off. It's about £4 or $5, and you're getting 4 of the best point and click adventure games. If you've never played a point and click adventure, I don't know, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this is 50 quid's worth of adventure games for like 4 or 5 quid. Like, buy it. If you don't like it, just come back into the comments and tell me I'm an idiot, but they're amazing. Obviously they're sequential, you have to play them in order. The protagonist is a bit of an idiot, that kind of goes without saying. I think Monkey Island set the precedent there, as did Space Quest. Good old Roger Wilco, he was awesome, wasn't he? I remember Space Quest 4 on my PC. There was this scene at the start of the game and I kept getting sucked into the ground by this creature and I thought the game was broken. And I kept going back to school, like coming back and having another crack at it. It took me about 2 weeks and I eventually realised that you had to just basically run away. I don't know what it was. My fight or flight reactions just weren't working, but that was great. And then I remember getting to this island, this planet, and there was like this Amazon tribe full of rather interesting looking people. My 10-year-old self would switch that screen off rather sharpish if anyone walked in the room. but the Deponia collection is definitely worth adding to yours for that silly price. Now, in the US regions, you've got a nice sale on Flamekeeper. That's down 58% to $6.65. Unfortunately, it's not here in the UK, which is a bit upsetting, but I'm almost positive that that they've released the update. When we reviewed it, basically, it got to a point in the game and it was like, we're still working. It really was. It was like, oh, really, I'm having a great time here. Oh goodness. There's a still in construction sign where there was literally a message in the game like this will be coming soon. Now I'm almost positive that they've now done that. I remember seeing an email saying our update's out, like all that content. It's all free, obviously, but the base game was a lot of fun. You can upgrade Ignis, the character that you play as, with loads of different things. Combat was good, nice and swift. There were some decent bosses, and you essentially, you build up that flame in the center by collecting the different embers from around about. Yeah, it was Asdin that reviewed this one for us, I remember now, but I think that was his biggest critique, that the update, like, there was kind of no word on when that was actually going to come out. But yeah, not too shabby at all. Check out the full review if you want a little bit more info there. And also, yeah, you might want to do a quick Google search just to make sure that is out. I'm 99.9% sure it is. So then on to our Savaloy selection, because we've got quite a few this week. There are in fact loads of them. These are the games that are cheaper than the price of a UK Savaloy, that being around about £2.50. And first up we have Layers of Fear Legacy. Now I'm not a fan of horror games at all, but this was more like a scare, like a thriller. It's a horror game. It comes from Bloober Team, I think, and it's set around a painter who basically has gone completely bonkers, and you're in this abandoned house and you gradually complete his painting, and as you do so it unlocks more of the story. You're reading letters, finding out about his wife and things like that. Super creepy. I've got this in VR as well, and well worth about £2. American Fugitive is another redemption story. It's like a top-down GTA or OG GTA clone, but obviously with a different theme. And when it launched, yeah, what a state. And they almost stripped it back to the drawing board as far as performance, and then they finally got it working nicely. Now, sure, you'll see a few hitches and things here and there, but overall, very fun. And it combines some mechanics from something like Thief Simulator. You can break into people's houses and steal different items and then sell those. Not too bad. I was hoping we would have a sequel to this already, but yeah, good game for just over £1. Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth is once again on its 90% discount that we had a couple of months ago. I think this game's absolutely stunning. It's based on the Pillars of the Earth trilogy, a series of books that are very well loved, and it does a great job of capturing the atmosphere of those. Now, I've actually gone and started reading one of the books to see if it actually lives up to those. I think it's always the case that most film and game is not as good, and I think that's probably still the case, but as far as being able to present it with the art style, the vocal work, this is really, really good, and I think most people will be quite pleased with it. For just $1.99 or $1.50, 90% off, worthy of its Savaloy status. Banners of Ruin is a great little deck building roguelite. It has a few bugs, there's still a few glitches and quirks in there, but I think it's a great game. I played this for like 20 hours straight, and sure, you will hit a few dodgy things, so you might find some crashes, you might find a couple of bugs here and there, but the game is so ridiculously addictive and so enjoyable that, yeah, if you can overlook a few quirks, then consider that one at that price. That's 88% off. The Swindle was introduced to me by Glen. That's 85% off, and it's a steampunk cybercrime caper. Basically, you have to go into these buildings, break in and steal stuff. There's a bit of a theme here. I'm sure he said it was originally on the Wii U or something like that. But yeah, if you'd like a career as a master thief, then I think this is one that's a bit of a hidden gem for a lot of people. As a very big tactical turn-based strategy fan, things like XCOM, I was really surprised by Hard West. That's currently 90% off to £1.79, complete bargain. And it has a series of different storylines. So they're essentially different campaigns, but they have their own full story. They're fully narrated, and they're pretty weird. Like it goes strange quite quickly, like a bit macabre, I guess is probably the right word for it. It's been so long since I played this, I honestly can't even remember half of the mechanics. There's a full cover system here. There's also ricochets, which is quite cool. I mean, you can't really have a Western without that ricochet sound effect, can you? So they built the mechanics straight into the game. The sale for that one goes on until November the 8th. Again, we have full reviews, so most of these, if it's not enough info, go check out the full review and you'll have everything you need, I hope. And that then takes us on to the one that you should avoid, and in fact, there's many that you should avoid. There's a whole slew of them, and it's these cloud releases. Now, I've said it before, but we have a load of them on sale. At the moment, A Plague Tale Innocence is on sale at 60%, as is the other Plague Tale game, and this is nothing against those because they're excellent. I played these on Xbox, absolute blast. Really, really good games. But I don't know. I mean, one, the cloud gaming performance on Switch is just pants. So if you're going to stream it, go stream it somewhere else. Like anywhere, you could just go onto a browser, to be honest. Get GeForce Now for free and buy the game and just do it that way. But if it's your only way to play, then maybe, but you're getting a really inferior version. You'll get loads of pixelation as it buffers and the Switch can't handle just streaming. So yeah, I just think the cloud versions at the moment on Switch are just rubbish. I'm sure on whatever comes next, they might actually be usable, but for me at least, even with a 1 gigabyte internet connection, and that's not a flex, that's just what it is. Yeah, I can't even get these to stream without hitching and stuttering, and it upsets me immensely. So that is it for this week. If you, as I say, if you've seen this video and it's anywhere near 8 PM, then I have worked some kind of like time-bending miracle. If it's not, I apologize a tiny little bit. I'm probably like laid out somewhere just sleeping. Thanks so much. Hit all the buttons, click all the things, and just a big thanks to all of you that support the channel. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya!